What is up, guys? In today's video, we are going to be watching a video from Leo where he talks about Fortnite Wrecked and the lasting impact it has had on the Fortnite community. His channel will be linked down in the description below along with this video. And this is about a month old. This was made on the anniversary of Wrecked, and I watched it then, and I very much agreed with this video. And it is interesting to see how this season has impacted the community. And we've even seen kind of the effect of this very recently with the removal of the grappler trick and the pickaxe trick, because this is another kind of instance where like the very casual community is very happy that those like exploits or tricks or however you want to word it, they're happy those things are gone. And then the more hardcore community liked using those, you know, tricks or exploits, whatever. And we've seen Fortnite remove the grappler trick yesterday as of the time I'm recording this video, and it kind of sparked even more controversy. So I definitely think the Fortnite community is very divisive. I think it's been going on since before Wrecked, but Wrecked was definitely a like hot topic at the time, or like a point where things boiled over. Let me know what you guys think of the Fortnite community and if you think Wrecked kind of ruined the Fortnite community, and let's get into it.
It's okay if you like this season.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
Or this one.
We'll come back to Season X at some point in this video, I'm pretty sure.
And even this one. Wait, actually? Alright, different strokes.
Different strokes and all.
Something that I don't think
Thank you for the raid, Crimson. Or gifted to Big O Tree. Crimson. Big. If you're here, make sure you say thank you and enjoy sub emotes and ad-free viewing.
preach enough on this channel is that opinions are varied throughout everyone, and that's alright. However, the infamous season that pushed this sentiment to the wayside was Chapter 5 Season 3, Wrecked. This video isn't going to be me overly shitting on Wrecked itself for the 80th time, because it's kind of beating a dead horse and the fact that the damn thing isn't funny anymore. I'm more or less examining the traits about the mindset when making a season like this and how those traits bleed into other seasons, as well as therapeutically reflecting on the long-lasting effects the season had on the community, given that the 1 year...
That's the biggest impact. A season can be bad, but like I feel like this season, like I said, it boiled over and the Fortnite community has like been incredibly split since.
Anniversary just occurred. Speculation for this season had me pretty excited. The phrase post-apocalyptic had my little ass bouncing in my seat because...
Same. I really like Fallout. Like this idea of like a theme of everything being destroyed and post-apocalyptic, I think has potential to be incredible. They made it like a desert wasteland. I'm fine with that. The whole car aspect is what I had a problem with, but still I think the theme for this season was interesting.
Concept art like this looked so fucking cool. It didn't take me that long to see the flaws within the season.
That scene is incredible, by the way, if you've seen Breaking Bad.
While I and others saw flaws, others saw no flaws within the season. The divisive quandary made itself clear at that very moment. I will never forget this first day, or hell, the first week of Wrecked. If I were to summarize my feelings about the community during that time with one word, it would be a lack of acknowledgement. Look, I have the most genuine respect for people that say, yeah, I thought the season was fun, I'm not the best at the game, but these items helped out a lot. I know that these things were broken, but as long as I had fun. That is one of the most valid and honest reasons for people enjoying this season, but
completely agree.
My problem was aimed at the sentiment, it's different, so that in itself makes it good, plus I get to kill sweats.
I hate this. So, this is something that happens in every game where... Like Call of Duty, for example, for years, everyone is like, oh, it's the same game. How terrible. Why would you buy the same game every year? If you're someone who enjoys Call of Duty, why would you want to play something that's drastically different? When you're going to a series of a game, you want mostly the same, but a little different. When I see a new Fortnite season, what I want is new POIs and new weapons that fit into Fortnite well, maybe some new mobility. But I don't want the game to be completely redesigned or like reinvented. And Wrecked, with like the introduction of like the really powerful cars and the really, you know, emphasis on car combat, I feel like felt like a different game initially, and I did not care for that. We've seen Call of Duty have this as well, where they change it up and make it something different, and then the players who don't like it, or the players who like COD don't like it, and then the people who were just hating anyways and saying it's the same every year weren't going to play it anyways. I feel like if something is a series, you want new additions, but you want the same thing. Like, you don't want something drastically different. And the idea that something is just worthy of praise because it's different, therefore it's good. If they made Fortnite into a MOBA the next season and for some reason we're just playing a hero shooter, that would be different. That wouldn't make it good. That's not what I want from Fortnite, you know? Like if they made it a slot machine game, there would maybe be people that enjoy that. It would be different, but I don't think it's worthy of praise.
You can still enjoy something or prefer something and still acknowledge that it's poorly made. This mindset doesn't just apply to Wrecked, apply it to literally any season. Chapter 4 Season 4 is a personal top 3 season for me, but it has a good amount of flaws and shortcomings that prevent it from being an objective top 3 season or peak Fortnite. And that's totally fine. I acknowledge that. The inverse applies too. Chapter 2 Season 4 isn't something I personally gravitate towards. I don't really care about Marvel enough for it to constitute its own season, and the powers didn't really do it for me, but it's actually a very well-made season with a good loot pool, and it deserves its praise.
Yeah, I didn't play this season. This was when I wasn't playing, but I know a lot of very sweaty, like, competitive players that, like, this is their favorite season of all time. And I know a lot of casual players who just, like quote-unquote fun, and this is their favorite season of all time. Like, this season, I don't really care for Marvel, but this season was able to make everybody happy, and that's why it is one of the best seasons of all time. If they only make one aspect of the player base happy, that's not good.
This shit doesn't even have to apply to Fortnite. I like and enjoy this movie, but I know it's pretty goddamn shitty.
What the fuck?
With Lawless being another heist season and Chapter 6 Season 3 most likely being another superhero season, many are pointing out the repetitiveness in season theming. A lot of people point to the backlash of Wrecked for being the reason for Fortnite's lack of ambition and wanting to be safe and how they don't want to experiment with themes and playstyles.
I don't think that could be true because they do things a year and a half in advance, I think. Like, there was a Q&A with Donald Mustard at one point where he said they're working a year and a half in advance. And so, Wrecked was a year ago. These seasons were already planned prior to Wrecked coming out. And so, some things may have changed and content may have been cut, but the themes, at least, were probably thought of. And we've seen season themes leaked for, like, years in advance at times. Or, like, skins in surveys for years prior to them actually being in the Battle Pass. So, like, I think the reaction to it may have led to them, like, toning certain items down or nerfing things before release, like maybe Superman, for example, or Godzilla. But, like, I don't think they're just not doing original themes because Wrecked was bad. I think they're doing themes because they know it works. Like, every heist or spy season has been good. Pretty much. Superheroes. I don't care for superheroes. I actually really enjoy the current season, but I was not overly excited for this season because I haven't really liked the Marvel updates we've had or like any other superhero stuff, but I think this season is quite good. Same with Star Wars last season. I thought it was fine, and I'm not a Star Wars fan, and I haven't really enjoyed past Fortnite Star Wars updates, but like the theme is not everything to me, and I feel like people make way too big of a deal about the theme online. I think there's a lot of people online that discuss this game that don't really play it that much. They're just like, oh, this theme is recycled, therefore it's bad, or I don't like this theme, therefore it's bad.
When we get an original theme,
like
y'all
this.
Cry. When we get a familiar theme, y'all cry. This community sucks. Theme doesn't make or break a season. That's not why people were complaining during Wrecked. The unbalanced loot pool and one-sided meta was a problem, if you recall. Primal was not bad because of the theme. It was because of the tedious crafting system with
I didn't play this, but you would get these like makeshift weapons that were terrible, and then you would have to find weapon parts to like make it into like this is the makeshift AR. I think if you got this and weapon parts, you could turn it into like an actual normal AR. So it just made like the looting more tedious and just annoying.
Unreliable and clunky weapons. Absolute Doom was not bad because it was a Disney Marvel Slob Metaverse season. It was because aimbot items and jetpacks make for one of the worst metas of all time. And if I'm being honest, if that's what Fortnite got out of the Wrecked controversy, the theme being the problem, then I don't know what to say. So this notion that the complaints from Wrecked is why there's a theme problem right now is crazy. Even if season themes are more repetitive right now, I don't see how that affects the actual gameplay. Give me a fucking...
Because they don't play the game. They just discuss the theme or the battle pass.
Disney princess season, I don't care. If the gameplay is good, then what are we doing? As we all know, for the majority of the season, Ranked had...
This is what Fortnite should have taken away from Wrecked, by the way, is that pubs and Ranked need to have split loot pools, and that would create a system where everybody is happy. Because And this is what they did for arena, but once they made ranked mode, they like for some reason had the idea that everything needed to be together. And so you either end up with things that the very casual players like, that's overpowered and quote unquote fun, but it is not good in a competitive setting. And so they balance it for competitive, and then the overly casual players are unhappy. Like, it's just a weird cycle where they're not pleasing anybody by making everything together. And I don't understand why Epic are like the only ones that can't see this. And towards the end of Wrecked, they actually did remove the cars from Ranked. And I think Magneto maybe. But by then it was just too late because they had already nerfed it. Like, if this season launched with split loot pools, everyone would have been much happier. And then the Iron Man stuff actually got removed from Ranked during that season as well towards the end. And at that point, I played a lot of Ranked just because I hated dealing with the Iron Man.
Pubs, it took constant nagging from the community to actually get them to split them. But the fact that it took them until the closing half of the season...
Like, Ranked should always just be the tournament loot set. They already have a separate loot pool, by the way. Like, Cash Cups and tournaments have tournament loot set, and so there's like differences and things that are removed. I don't know why Ranked just wouldn't always have the tournament rule set. Like, it seems like the most obvious, like, please everybody solution of all time.
Season, rather than doing it, I don't know, at launch, makes it evident that they never planned on splitting the loot pools in the first place. Like, they genuinely thought that all of this belonged in the ranked game mode. Now, this way of handling ranked has been prevalent ever since ranked replaced arena, but wrecked was the only notable time when Fortnite actually took action. The fact that ranked reverted back to how it was immediately after wrecked sets a precedent that they actually just learned nothing. Chapter 6 Season 1 had the Typhoon Blade, Explosive Rifle, and Railgun in ranked. Chapter 6 Season 2
I would have been playing ranked a lot that season if there was no Typhoon Blade.
Had the Kneecapper, Rift Launcher, and Sticky Grenade Launcher in ranked. Like, what? If anything, this season should have been a chance to reevaluate ranked as a whole, but I know that would make too much sense. Now, when it comes to opposing viewpoints for this season, I feel like a lot of the productive criticisms for the season and defenses for the season gets drowned out so much from the buffoons on both sides. Like, these new gens really love this season. Of course they do, because they're garbage at the game. And like, okay, first of all, who the fuck cares when someone started playing Fortnite? Like, that's the stupidest shit ever. Second of all, you don't have to be garbage in order to like the season. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that it didn't cater to that.
I saw a lot of people who typically hate on sweats or people that care about winning or like tryhards or whatever. Those people for years have acted like it's stupid to play for wins or whatever, you know? And I saw them posting their wins in high kill games that they were getting with the cars. Like, day of, I was like, what is going on? Am I in an alternate reality? Suddenly these people that hard just hate on anyone trying, now it's cool to win and cool, like they want to get kills and stuff. So I think it's, I definitely think it catered to like the not good players a lot. I just think the biggest problem is like people can't comprehend that other people have fun in different ways. That seems to be the biggest problem. Like, a lot of times the casuals say, I'm just playing for fun, and I don't know what that means because I'm a sweaty tryhard to them and I'm also playing for fun. Like, everybody is playing the game for fun. It's just people's perception of fun is different. And that's where like the disconnect is. And so when a lot of casual players say that like the competitive players hate fun, they mean that people who don't agree with what their view of fun is are just incorrect and wrong. Like, for more hardcore players, what's fun is like the skill gap and feeling like your play and decisions have like an impact on the outcome of the game. And then I guess for casual players, what's fun is just having really overpowered things to get eliminations with. I'm not a casual player. I don't really understand. But like, yeah, everyone is playing for fun.
Skill level, because it very much did, but that saying got overused so fast that it just blended in with the rest of the bullshit. And on the other end of the spectrum was, these sweats hate anything fun whatsoever, and they just ruin seasons because of nerfs. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what a sweat is, going off of the people that use this phrase every sentence,
it's anyone who kills them or tries to kill them. But if they're getting kills and they're getting wins, that's fine. That's why this logic makes no sense at all. Because when an enemy kills them, they're mad about it and they're going to social media to complain. So clearly they care about the outcome of the game, right? The idea that everyone in a PvP video game isn't playing to eliminate the other players, which is the goal of the game, is very bizarre to me. Like, I feel elderly.
Is basically anyone who's better than you. It's not a specific skill level.
They don't even got to be better than you. It's just if they fight back at all and don't just let you win, then they're trying too hard.
Just you specifically. And I'll be honest, a lot of the players who said this and still say this
Oh no, let's go back and listen to this because I completely agree.
just ruined seasons because of nerfs. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what a sweat is, going off of the people that use this phrase every sentence is basically anyone who's better than you. It's not a specific skill level, just you specifically. And I'll be honest, a lot of the players who said this and still say this are mostly just kids at the end of the day, and the word
I don't know.
sweat is just a buzzword that doesn't mean anything, like woke. But for older people who hold this belief about sweats ruining seasons, I think it's a little disingenuous to say that sweats were solely the cause for the nerfs in Wrecked, because I'll tell you right now, there were plenty of people who weren't pro players or cash cup players that felt that the nerfs were necessary.
I completely agree. I make videos, I read comments every day. I feel like there's a certain level of casual player that just is checked out and hates people that are decent at the game. And so for them, just having these items that allow them to get free eliminations that makes them happy, right? But there's also, think about it like this. If the cars are so overpowered that very good players are having a hard time dealing with them regardless of who's using it, how is a casual player, someone who doesn't play the game well, right? Or someone who doesn't play the game much, or someone who's bad at the game, how is that person going to deal with them at all, right? Like, that's where these overpowered items are, like, problematic. Like, not every casual player enjoys dealing with that stuff. And I know because I read comments every day of people complaining about whatever the most overpowered thing in the season is, even if it's not that hard to avoid.
McCreamy thought the cars were too powerful. Are you really trying to tell me that this motherfucker's a sweat? But with nerfs,
He got eliminations. He's ruining the game.
The floodgates of uselessness. This conception that anything that gets nerfed or adjusted is just completely fucking dog shit and there's no reason to pick it up at all.
This video is so good. This is also very true.
And it makes no sense to me. Cars and fists were still very powerful post-nerf, and I find it extremely hard to believe that they were just useless.
But yeah, this is the mindset. If there's any sort of counter to anything, or if it gets nerfed in any way, a lot of times people like riot and say that the thing is useless now. And my argument against this at the time, where people were saying cars were useless, I was still carrying items to counter cars. And everybody I know, and a lot of players I ran into just playing the game, people often had EMPs or a bow to try to counter cars. And if cars were useless, people would not be dedicating 1 out of 5 of their inventory slots to counter that item. Like, it just, like, player behavior shows that it's not useless. But the same thing happened the season after this with the War Machine jetpack. It got nerfed a few times. And even after, like, 5 nerfs, it was still so overpowered. Like, so good that everyone wanted it. And people were complaining that it was nerfed into the ground and useless. Like, Epic could nerf something in the most insignificant way, and people would be saying it's useless.
Because everyone still used these items after the nerfs.
Exactly.
And that in itself.
And they carried counters to that item, which shows that in their mind, it is a threat to deal with.
Makes them not useless. Because I guarantee you, if Fortnite released the cars and the fists like this on launch, no one would be saying shit. Every season afterwards, these types of items received little to no nerfs at all. The sword was only nerfed by 2 damage, and the bat had its knockback against cars nerfed because people were doing a glitch. So these items were nerfed to the ground? Really?
Really?
Still saw them every single game, several times a game.
Because it seems to me that Fortnite has actually done the opposite. Minuscule nerfs that don't actually fix the item in any way. Now that the lightsabers are the main melee mobility item and they're not broken like everything else has been recently, players are so conditioned to having everything OP as fuck, so when they're given an item that's actually pretty balanced and isn't meta-dominating, they're thrown off by this and they're like,
yeah, we had the spaceships, though, for those people. But I completely agree. The lightsabers did not bother me at all that season after coming from the Typhoon Blade and the Bat.
whoa, why are these so bad? These are so useless. Can they get buffed, please, please? It's not bullshit broken. How can you play this? Which sounds a bit weird because these lightsabers were heavily praised during Mega. What's so different
I didn't even
now?
think of that.
They're exactly the same, copy and pasted. What Fortnite's done is that they set a standard with these items in Wrecked, and now that anytime you try to make something balanced, a lot of people are used to that standard that you set in Wrecked, and they're going to use that to judge these new items that are actually pretty balanced for the most part. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everything was so fine and dandy.
This is why I said we needed to come back to Wrecked, because the mechs were incredibly overpowered in Season X. I think they were more overpowered than the boss cars, more or less. They were close. Maybe the boss cars were better. But either way, it seemed like the general consensus of the community at the time was that this is terrible and it needs to go. Even like the casual players, the bad players, however you want to describe it, everyone was hating on the mechs. It was trending on Twitter like every day to bolt them. But now, and then another example of this would be Chapter 1, Season 5, when they removed Double Pump. It seemed like the community was outraged at them removing that mechanic. But now I feel like things are different. If they remove Double Pump today, the casual players would be praising it because it's a bug or it wasn't intended, therefore it's bad. And like kind of, I feel like in the back of their minds is like, I can't do it, so I want it gone. And then same with the mechs. Back then, everyone hated on it. But now I feel like people are like, I don't know what the term would be, like checked out enough or like bitter enough that just like, okay, this thing is really overpowered and I can finally get some kills. That's good. I'm ruining the game of people that would have beat me otherwise. So I like this thing. Like how split the community is was just not as much of a thing back then. And I don't know if it was caused by Wrecked, but Wrecked is like one of the biggest like examples of it. The split in the community between like the casual and hardcore players.
Before Wrecked, because we've had broken shit in the game before many times. Fuck! But when a whole do
you think Snoop Dogg's a hardcore player?
Wrecked,
I don't know if this is actually him playing, but like it might have been.
Broken shit.
Oh no, it's not, because it's Aiden. Okay, it has Aiden's overlays on it.
Before many times. Fuck! But when a whole 3-month season is built around this type of shit, you create people who want you to never make seasons like this again, and you create people that love seasons like this and want more of it.
That was very satisfying.
Wrecked did a few things right. The combat shotgun. This was my favorite shotgun to use in chapter.
And use it, the Gatekeeper is too good.
Chapter 5. Full stop. It is the best version of this weapon in my opinion. Yeah, the Gatekeeper was still here, which demolished any sort of variety in the shotgun meta, but it was still great. Nuka-Cola was
this thing was godlike. Probably one of the most satisfying and most well-balanced healing items we've ever had. It was like a worse slurp juice, but you could use it quickly and get health back, and it wasn't like so insane like how the slurps were.
Amazing healing item. It's a balanced version of the slurp juice. The entire animation was smooth as fuck and satisfying. I know it might not.
I said it was satisfying, but I didn't mean the animation. I was just saying like it was enjoyable to play the game with because it was balanced, but also you could use it quickly to heal during a fight.
Come back because it's a collab item, but it would be nice if Fortnite made their own original reskin of it, like how the grapple glove is a knockoff Spider-Man web shooter.
I completely
agree. The marketing
agree.
for the season was pretty creative. The battle bus being physically there at some monster truck event is a similar callback to Chapter 1 Season 5 when the Durburger was in the desert. Tangible objects teasing shit in the real world. I love that. This is probably the most subjective out of all of these, but the grunginess of the season was really interesting. Everything was all rugged and chopped. It was a cool spin thematically. The oasis area in the desert looked cool.
The cactus was amazing. He'd probably talk about it.
Wait, this is actually fucking beautiful. Look at the waterfall.
Beautiful ass.
What the fuck?
Loot Island being Metallica was actually raw as shit. And you know, it's funny. With all of these cool little additions...
The cactus was so good. So, how much did it heal you for? 30? Yeah, so they were just like 30 heals just all around the map. And they regenerated over time. It was like 3 slurp barrels in one, and they would regenerate. It was problematic for comp because people would just trade damage for Surge. But just playing the game with this and the game was enjoyable. Same with these Nitro rings. Same with the Nitro mechanic that gave you unlimited sprint. And you didn't need the medallion for it. The medallion guaranteed you Nitro, you know, constantly. But you would get Nitro from this ring. You would get Nitro from the splash. The pacing of this season could have been incredible. Like, I think Wrecked, if the cars weren't really busted at launch and Magneto wasn't a thing, this would be one of the best seasons of all time. Like, it had so much potential, but it was just ruined by overpowered crap.
It feels even worse,
in my opinion,
knowing that the season is still poorly made. And I still think it's objectively the worst season. And for the most part, the only opinion that changed for me is that I'm a little more understanding of those who enjoyed the season.
Wow, this is garbage. You actually like this?
It's just a shame that a lot of this division could have been avoided. I'm a huge believer in the butterfly effect. It frustrates me in movies and shows when bad things happen
Why are these Fortnite skins fighting?
Due to blindly ignoring an easy solution. I think Fortnite still hasn't learned that trying to keep ranked / competitive similar to pubs.
What were they doing? Why are they not like spam jumping with their lightsaber? They're so noobs.
that a lot of this division could have been avoided.
Like, they're just
I'm
standing
a
here.
huge believer in the butterfly effect. It frustrates me
Look,
in movies and shows
just
when
jump,
bad
bro.
things happen due to blindly ignoring an easy solution. I think Fortnite still hasn't learned that trying to keep ranked/competitive similar to pubs literally
Yeah, this would be one of the biggest changes Fortnite could make to improve the game. It's just splitting the loot pools. You don't need to balance pub items or how they'll do in ranked, and people who don't want to deal with that crap can just play ranked. And people who want a more competitive experience can also play ranked. Like, I think it's a win-win for everybody. You would see more people playing ranked, and you would see the casual players happier, I think. And less resentment towards each other, because they're right now what they want is like competing against each other, and it doesn't need to be that
similar
way.
to pubs literally creates more division than dividing the loot pools, which is a bit ironic. Also, it's extremely funny to me seeing people who hated the season last year just for them to post nostalgia edits of Wrecked. Like, it's one thing if you changed your mind on certain things, but doing a complete 180 is asinine. It makes people like me with actual criticisms look stupid for sharing the same side with these people. You fucking cowards. All that shit talking just to end up switching sides because it's popular.
Oh, dude, this man pulled out the F11. He's about to beam them.
Fucking cowards. All that shit
GG's.
talking just to end up switching sides because it's popular.
Coward.
Fortnite Wrecked was a season that accomplished many things. It's loved. It's hated. It sparked one of the biggest civil wars in Fortnite history, while also spawning one of the greatest things to ever come out of Fortnite, which brought people together.
Oh yeah, I forgot Reload existed during this season. I'm interested to see if Reload would have never came to be if Wrecked wasn't so poorly received, or if it was being in development anyways. I feel like it was probably in development anyways, but I don't know if we'll ever get the answer to that. What was I gonna say? It's also interesting to me that like the solution to this was maybe to introduce Reload, but why is splitting the player base between BR players and Reload players more preferable to Epic than just splitting the loot pools between ranked and pubs? Like, it's so confusing to me.
However, it was a season beyond saving. But despite this, I still had some good memories mixed in with bad ones. Yep.
See, like, that's like something that some people would consider to be fun. And what I was saying about fun being subjective, just destroying a POI so it all like collapses using the explosive cars or whatever, my brain gets no dopamine or enjoyment from that at all, to be honest. Like, absolutely zero. But for some people, like, the quirkiness of that or whatever, it's funny and it's exciting. And like, neither of us are wrong. We just have different preferences. But a lot of people present their preferences as like a guaranteed thing when it comes to, you know, what is or isn't fun.
With bad ones.
Yep.
I would have more enjoyment doing my taxes, because at least then I would have the dopamine of like, okay, that task is completed. Like, for me, if I don't care enough about playing a game to like try hard and want to win and like succeed, I'm gonna get so incredibly bored of playing incredibly fast. Like, just joking around or goofing off is just not even remotely how I enjoy playing games.
Dude, why does the car have 2,000 health? What the fuck is wrong with this shit? We've had shit seasons in the past, and while a lot of them are so goddamn forgettable and fly under the radar, Wrecked is far from a forgettable season. This shit will be passed down for generations. Wrecked isn't a shit season. It's the shit season.
No, man, the battle pass is good. How could you criticize it? But yeah, I think that video is good. Leo's channel will be linked in the description, like I said. Let me know what you think. I think the community in Fortnite is incredibly divided, but so much of that just comes down to how Epic handles things. If the loot pools were split between competitive and pubs, I think so many more people would just be simultaneously happy than how they currently have things set up.